what you can do in Forma. And firstly, let me give an introduction of what our company is. Then we'll be going to the design brief of the project. So firstly, I'll just go and over here we are Arcans, which is collaborating with Ethos, and over here we are going to have a discussion that what things you are going to publish, how you can create conceptual design, and how you can build it over here. So firstly, let me just give a brief introduction of myself. I'm Kulsumiram. My background is an architect. I'm a BIM specialist and solution consultant at Arcans, and it is based in Gurgaon. Right. After that, we are at Arcans India, and let me just have a brief introduction of our company. We are a strong technical team which supports in solutions, consultings, and many more things, which is a platinum partner of Autodesk. We are located over here in India, Australia, Europe, and America. There are different regions we are available on, and in India, we are 150 plus of technical resources presented over here, right? Afterwards, we are also in these brief industries. We are into AEC industry, which is architecture, engineering, construction. Then we are also present at manufacturing, media, education. We also give education about the BIM for design courses, which teach you about BIM. What is BIM? How you can improve your skills? How you can go from student level to a professional level. Then we are into government graphics and hardware and services as well. So this was a brief introduction of our company. Now let me just hand it over to Kirtana, which will showcase that what is your design brief and what you are going to present. Kirtana, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kulsum, for the brief introduction. So, hi everyone, I'm Keetana from Ethos Empowers. So, I'll quickly take you through the Design Advanced 2025 brief. So, I'll share my screen now to get into detail about it. Just a minute, I'm trying to share. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Kirtana, your screen is open.
Okay. So let's quickly get into Design Advanced 2025. So we'll be discussing about the theme, the task, the guidelines and participation, and the frequently asked questions by the other registrants. So first thing, the theme of the competition is Beyond the Game, Adaptive Arenas for Tomorrow. So Design Advanced basically focuses on future of public architecture. Our theme focuses on designing multipurpose arenas that embrace the concept of flexible and reversible architecture. So the arenas that we design should transform, relocate, and disappear based on the evolving needs. So it should basically should not be fixed or a single-use venue, which is quite outdated in the current scenario. So the participants are challenged to design versatile multipurpose arenas that can adapt, transform, relocate, or be disassembled in response to the changing needs. So why do we need adaptive arenas? So thousands of years back, you can take examples of Colosseum or Athens, wherein the arenas were constructed for a particular event. So that was basically for uniting the people from different cultures, different countries for events, but the purpose of those arenas remained singular. Then over the period of time, there was cities densified and diversified, and then there was a lot of more requirement for entertainment. So there were arenas and spaces that were required for different cultural activities or sports activities at the same time. So we were not, any city or any country cannot afford a space for which they have spent millions of rupees in it, and it can't stay idle in between the events. So the ultimate aim was we can't leave those arenas underutilized, between the events. So this was the reason why we wanted adaptive arenas. So the need for adaptable multi-use arenas is growing now, and we can already see live examples from India. For example, we can see Dubai Patil Stadium, which is basically a cricket stadium, but recently it was used for a Coldplay concert as well. So it should be it should be flexible so that locally and globally it is used. The actual task of this competition. So the arenas that we are designing should not just be multifunctional, but it should also be sustainable, accessible, and future-proof. So we should think of modular structures, small designs, pop-up stadiums, and flexible event spaces that cater to globalized and diverse societies. And these venues should be so flexible enough that it can cater both large scale and small scale gatherings easily. Next thing we can look at it is the guidelines for the site and program. So the proposed site should be preferably set in an urban setting where the culture, sports, and entertainment meet, so that you can have that multi-purpose agenda fulfilled. Then the participants may choose any city in India or abroad that fits the design brief. The site should be at least 10 to 15 acres and should be capable of accommodating 40,000 spectators for the major events. So considering the environmental factors such as climate and cultural significance is also important, and use of local bylaws. So if there are no local bylaws for that particular site that you're choosing, you can go for NBC. The also design outdoor spaces as flexible extensions of arenas suited for pop-ups, festivals, and exhibitions, keeping the venues active beyond major events. So there are certain design considerations that you need to take care of while designing. So adaptability and multifunctionality, scalable seating and crowd management, universal accessibility and user experience, sustainability and climate responsiveness, ephemeral, reversible, and circular design, cultural sensitivity, and architectural identity, smart infrastructure, and digital integration. So coming to the prizes, so we have cash prizes for the top 3 winners and e-certificates for all the participants who have submitted the competition entries. And the top 10 entries will be recognized in the competition website, and top 3 winners will get free entry to Archons and BIM for design program, which is worth 80,000 rupees. And there are a lot of other benefits as well. And recognition for institutes that adopt the brief as a studio project. So the next, the participation details. The important dates are the registration closes by 16th of October, submission closes by 29th of October. So who can participate? All the UG and PG students, and as well as young professionals from the fields of architecture, planning, civil engineering, and design can participate from all across the globe. So the recent graduates and young professionals, if they have graduated in the year 2023 or later, then PG students, including 2025 graduates, are eligible only if they have no more than 3 years of professional experience. And this can be combined with a maximum of 3 members per team. And you can always combine the years or the professions and make up your own team. So this is up to you. So let's get into the frequently asked questions from the other participants, which are quite common. That is there any registration fee for competitions and workshops? So there is no registration fee at all. It's free. And can postgraduate students take part in the competition? Yes, UG and PG students of architecture, design, civil engineering, and related fields can take part. Can the team members be from different colleges? As discussed earlier, yes, inter-college teams and inter-batch teams are also allowed. In the absence of a local bylaws, which standards should be used? So if there are no local bylaws, we can use NBC. Can we choose a site on our own? Choose an urban site in tier 1 or tier 2 city of area 5 to 12 acres. Can we define our program? Yes, you can choose the functions and distributions of space allotted as per your site requirements. So if there are more questions, you can post it in the chat box or unmute yourself and talk about it. towards the end of the session, it will be addressed by us. And for the registration for the competition, you can scan the QR code shown on the screen and register for the same. So,
Okay, thank
thanks,
you, Kirtana.
thanks
And
for your
let me
time.
take it over. Let me take over it. So firstly, we'll be seeing some case studies that what could be case studies for arenas. So as per case studies, I have basically chosen two case studies, which you can see. One is a Stadium 974, which is located in Qatar. It's a basically best example what you have gone through your design brief. You can see it is modular, it is prefabricated, it is relocatable. So you can see it's an adaptive stadium which is available over here in Qatar. And for the briefing, over here it is located in Doha, Qatar, and the architect is Panvic Arabian Architects, and major events which happened in the stadium is 2021 FIFA and 2022 FIFA. So you can see it is a good example over here. So today in session we'll be talking about majorly conceptual design. That how you can develop your conceptual design using Forma. With that, you can go with a lot of features. I'll be telling you what features Forma offers, how you can access to Forma, how you can work into Forma as well. So firstly, let me just go over the conceptual design. That what is that conceptual design behind the Qatar Stadium? Firstly, it is designed for disassembly, like fully demountable. It is relocatable in sub, and it is inspired by Qatar's maritime heritage and dialogue code and dialing code. It was built from 974 shipping containers. It is modular steel frame. The frame that you have seen in the image, you can see it over here as well. It is created from steel modular frame. And all the containers, these are also defining the area zone, that which one is the toilet area, which one is the concession area, which one is for players. So you can see it is a conceptual design which had happening over here. After that, with the second, you can see the floor plans of these stadiums. These are located over here, the ground floor and the first floor. After this, I have taken another case study, which is Air Albania Studio, which is available into Albania itself. Over here, this is location is Tirana, basically, and Albania. Former name is Arena Kotambara. Architects are Marco Cosambia, and the major event that happened over here is 2022 UEFA Europea Conference Legal Final. So this was a brief introduction of what this particular stadium was, and why I have chosen this as to be a case study, because it's a multifunction octagonal design. You can see the design over here. It is also integrating BIM, which is used into the designing process, and it is a multifunctional hub. It is can be a stadium, it can be converted into hotel, retail, public spaces. So you can use it as depending upon what adaptive feature which is available over here for this particular stadium. And you can see the floor plan as well. Now after this, now we'll forward to go with the Autodesk Forma, that how you can design these adaptive arenas and concept design, basically conceptual design using Autodesk Forma. So firstly, Forma is a planning tool, not probably planning I can say, but a pre-planning tool you can say it over here. So why we always prefer to go on to conceptual design before going into planning? Like conceptual design is the main event which is going to be happening, and we focus on conceptual design a lot because the time that you will be requiring to develop your design at the earlier stage is going to be lesser and the cost is going to be lesser. But when you go at the end of the stage, let's just suppose we go on to the construction stage, or let's just suppose we go on to design brief stage. So at that time, the designing process is going to be very much complicated, and the cost as well as time will increase. That is why we are focusing that you do your conceptual design over here using Forma beforehand, so can you can develop your conceptual design. After that, why what is it today? Okay, anyone who have heard name of Formas before this particular webinar? If yes, you can raise your hand. If no, you can just let it be. Yes. So there are people who have heard of Forma. So what is it today? As you can see into my picture that it is a conceptual designing tool. Why we are focusing on Forma? Because firstly, it's a cloud-based software. You can go for early stage planning using Forma, and not just conceptual design. With conceptual design, you can do a lot of studies over here as well. You can do a lot of analysis using Forma. And as well as it is going towards an AI automation, which is going to be helpful in your case studies, in your conceptual design as well. And what Forma give us the capabilities of next generation, all the things which is going to be available into Forma, which I'm going to showcase as well. Firstly, it is automatic, not fully automatic. It is basically a prompting you can do it over here. Secondly, all the analysis is out of the box. You can create your solar studies. You can create multiple options which you want to create. You can also develop environment over here so that multiple people can come to your cloud network and they can also work with your file as well. And as it is in cloud, it is not going to be a software which you need to install or which you need to download. You can simply go on to browser and you can access your Forma. After that, we have Forma. Why we are going with early stages? Because it is providing us contextual design. All the concept design is going to be done over here. It is going to have an analysis, and lastly, which is more important, that it's an interoperability which is available with Forma. Why interoperability is available? Let's just suppose you have done your concept design and one of your proposal got final. You said that this with this particular one proposal, now I can go with my designing that particular form, the form that you have chosen into Forma. You can just bring it onto Revit, and with Revit now you can work with your Forma concept design. You don't need to go onto Revit and start from scratch. You can simply download the form which you have done into Forma and start working in Revit. That is why we are focusing that you go for Forma. After that, it, like I said, it gives us a lot of capabilities of analysis. You can go with area metric, that how much area you have considered. It also gives us solar hour analysis according to your need. It also gives you solar hour analysis, wind analysis, daylight potential, shadow analysis, and much more. Even if you want to go with noise metric, it will also be possible into Forma. So a lot of analysis capabilities are available for you to define that which particular one proposal I want to work on. Because at conceptual design, you'll be creating not a one proposal, you'll be creating at least two, three, four, multiple proposals, out of which you can also show that into your submission that why you have chosen one particular proposal. You can also define the compatibility. You can also compare it over here with different proposals of yours. And like you have done all your work which is in Forma 3D, but now you want to define it into a presentation manner. You can also use Forma board, which is available over here. You can define, you can compare your design options, you can share your project updates, you can also document your process that why you have chosen this one, what is the area metrics you can go with. You can also share your feedback as well. Whatever the feedback you want to have, you can type it over here using Autodesk Forma. Now we have come that it is also preferable for sheeting, it is also preferable for modeling. After that, which comes is that it is also giving you an AI intervention of rendering, which is going to be done with Evolve Lab, which is an extension tool which is available onto Forma. You can also develop your rendering images of your conceptual design. I'm not asking you to go on to Lumion or go on to any third-party platform to go for your renders. You can do your renders using AI very easily with Forma. Now, after that, like I said, it's an interoperability. You can go with Forma and Revit seamlessly. There's a division over here. I'll also showcase you that how you can do that. And let me just share my another screen for Forma. Okay. Over here, firstly, if you want to go on to Forma, you can simply search Autodesk Forma onto cloud. I'm not going to search for that. You can see that Autodesk Forma login is coming up. Then you have to go onto your account and sign in. And in my case, I already done it because it takes some time. That is why just to spare some minutes, I did it beforehand, and onto my screen you can see I am logged in. Now I have to go on to product and services to access Forma because Forma is not going to be available for your installing. You can directly access from product and services. You can search over here that you want to access your Forma and you can simply access. When you will be clicking on Forma, this is going to be your home page. You can see it over here. I have different projects which is allocated over here. Now you want to create a new site because you want that whatever the things you will be creating is going to be available. You can just select on create new site. After selecting new site, you have to select create new project. Then you have to name your project. Then one thing which is important is Forma works on hub. You can also, if you are using AEC student version of license, you can create your hub easily. It is not going to be a difficult task for you. You can simply create your hub, and you can also type your name of your project. Let me just type a name. Sorry, this is design advanced. And you can also allow it that with whom you want to share the access of. If you're working in a team of 3 4 people, you can also allow some people of your particular team to have the access, or you can also select that invite only. When you will be sharing the access, they can also. It's basically like your Google Drive. If you're sharing the link, they can access. If you select to open to join, whichever person is going to be presented on your hub, they can join your project. So there are 2 options. You can select accordingly which particular option you want to work on, and then you can select on create site. And when you select on create site, it will open another window where you have to mention that which particular site you want to work on. So for me, I'm going with a random site which is New Delhi. Let's just suppose onto New Delhi. I'll just search for New Delhi and it is going to be allocated over here. It will redirect me to the New Delhi, and you can see up to 962 meters of area. You can define your site, which is going to be quite useful for you, that you can define your size also over here. You can put it your site up to 1.91 kilometer. It is not going to be bigger than that. You can select your site. I'll just go with some open spaces. Okay, over here we have a lot of open space, so I can just select this particular site for my project. You can also select your site according to your need. Whatever the site you want to create, you can just type that particular site area. You can, or if you want to create a site which is not available over here, you can also put longitudes and latitudes, where I have just shown you that you can put the site address. Now I'll just confirm that map area. After this, what Forma will do, it will create some basic designing of my project, of my site. Whatever the site do I have, it is going to be created over here. It takes some time, but it is going to be created. Now I'll just, okay, we just have to wait a minute. And now you can see my site has been created. I want to just show you the site. Okay, it is taking a bit of time. Okay, now you can see. And also you have over here one thing which I haven't told you, that you have a compatibility with OpenStreetMaps, with packages, with GIS, with Mapbox satellites. If you want your site to be looking like this, you can add these cards over here. These are basically cards. Let's just suppose I want to add roads, which is available on OpenStreetMap. I can simply select on add, and you can just simply order it over here like this. And these cards are going to be added according to your site. You can see it has just showed me that the site and the card which has been added over here. Similarly, you can see that we have different types of sites. You can select accordingly that which type of map or from OpenStreetMap you want to download it, and it is going to be done. And now I'll just show you over here that this is my site. Again, it's a site where I can develop my particular arenas. So you can develop your site according to that, and you can also add some more maps. If you want to add, you can just simply go on to contextual design. Under contextual data, you have your terrain. You can also preview them if you want to add them. You can also browse some news, which I have just shown you. This particular card library is going to be available, and you can add them one by one. Let's just suppose I want to add some buildings, because you can see that on my site I cannot see any building which is available onto my site, which is not possible. In Delhi there will be some buildings, so I can simply load my buildings from OpenStreetMap, and those are going to be imported over here. And you can see now it is going to be, it will take a moment to get all the buildings loaded over here, and it is going to be populated accordingly. And just a moment, it is taking time because it's a cloud based environment. So having a cloud-based environment, you need to require some kind of good amount of Wi-Fi. And now you can see all the sites which is available, all the buildings which is available on your OpenStreetMap is being loaded over here. You can see all the buildings are available, right? After this, now you want to go on to basic conceptual design. So firstly, you can see that we have different proposals. You can create multiple proposals. If you want to work on 2, 3, 4 proposals, you can simply add on and it will add more proposals too. Firstly, you need to define your site, what is going to be your site area, so that accordingly it will create area metrics. You can see it comes area metrics and it is asking me to draw my site limit. So I'll just go with draw my site limits and it will go with site limits over here. And let me just draw, and you just have to draw some lines. It is basically more like a sketchup. You need to draw and according to that enter and your site is going to be developed. And if I select this, it is going to know that what is the limit of my site, what is the area. You can also see the area of my site which I have chosen it from. Like just going with the down creation, you can just choose your site area as well. If you want to again create your site, you can simply go on to your limits and then you have site limits as well. So you can select over here and you can create another site as well. If you want to increase or decrease your area, you can do that. Right after that, what comes is designing of your buildings. If you want to design your arena, we have different options for buildings as well. We have line, we have basic building, but for arenas, I'll be using 3D sketch buildings. What 3D sketch buildings is basically that you can use these lines option. We have different options to create. We can choose rectangles, we can choose 3 arc points, we can choose lines, we can choose circles, we can choose a spline. So we have a sketch mode over here. According to which the particular sketch mode you want to work, draw tool you want to use, you can select it and it will help you to create the form of your particular arena. So I'll just create some sketch over here. I'll go, let's just suppose I'll draw it over here that this is going to be the area of my arena. Okay, let me just change it. I want it to be 3 pointer. Okay. Like this, I can just simply switch between my tools as well. You can see how easily I can just switch it between, and again I'll be wanting it to be a spline. I'll select it. Okay, and now you can, if you go on to your x-axis, you can also extrude that what is going to be the height of your particular building. You can extrude it according. Now you can see I have developed my building. Onto this, I want to create an open space which is going to be the base space for your stadium or your arena. You can also create it on top of your site, on top of your building. So I'll again choose line, or either I can choose rectangle to make it over here. So I select it and I create it like this. And after that, when I go select, I can just extrude it downwards. Like in SketchUp, if you extrude it downwards, it will go and create a void. You can simply see that how I can create a void as well. Then we have different forms over here that you can use for modifying your modeling. You can union, you can merge two buildings, add together. If you have two buildings, let's just suppose I have one circular building as well over here. I'll just create a circular building and like this, I can just simply select it. And also I can merge it between these two buildings. I'll just select union and it will create two buildings to be merged over here. You can see now it has been merged. Similarly, if you want to define a subtractor building, you can also do that. One building is going to be full and another building is going to be include over here. Then you can also create a fillet over here. Let's just suppose you want to create a fillet. You want a curvature over here. You can also put it over here. So let me just select these two edges and I can just simply enter and you can see how precisely it has done my curvature. If you want to go beyond 5 meter, you can go with beyond 5 meter as well. Let me show you on this edge. I'll again select it over here, fillet, and as I select on fillet, you can type the radius, what fillet radius you want to work on. So let's just suppose now I want to work on 15 meter. After that, you can simply search your select your edges and enter, and it will create a form over here like this. You can also define your forms in 3D. It is not like you cannot do that in 3D. So I'll again go with some more shapes. Let me just select line again, and with line I can define these spaces. Let's just suppose I want some spaces over here like this, I can also create into 3D form as well. You can see that in 3D form also you'll be able to create these forms. After this, you can see that we have freeforms and cuboids. You can go with cuboid, cylinder, and freeforms. You can create it very easy. And you can also see all the arithmetics if you want to go on to your floor 40, which we have created. Okay, we have created a lot of floors. We have created 41 floors. So let me just make it 3 or 2. And accordingly, I can put the height of each floor. That what is going to be the height of my each floor. So let's just suppose that one height of my floor is going to be 15 meters. I can put it because it's an automation over here. Right? Using that automation, it is going to be created over here. You can select it, and now we have done it. You can see that we have created some kind of arena, some shapes of arenas. Now I can just close this exit mode of drawing and it is going to be converted over here. Like, you can also see your floor plans into 2D form if you want to see. Let's just suppose I want to see then 2D that how my floor plan looks like. You can see it into 2D. If you want to see your second floor, you can see your second floor as well. If you want to see your first floor, you can see your first floor as well. That what is your first floor and what is your second floor. This is also available for you that you can understand your 2D and 3D. You can also edit it into 3D sketch, which I have just shown you. That thing is also available over here. After that, now you want to populate your site. We have created the arenas, but now we want to populate our site. For population, we have a lot of tools over here. Let's just suppose I want to add some road. I can use road option and I can just simply create some roads. Let's just suppose I want a surrounding roads with my arena. I can select this particular road and it is going to be created. You can also define the width of your road. Let's just suppose I want a width of 9 meter. I'll be just putting it over here and enter, and I'll select and I'll put it over here 9 meter, and it is going to be converted like this. You can see that how easily I have created a road. Similarly, if you want to populate with trees, you can do it as well. You can just simply go on to site zones. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so we have roads over here. If you want to again create some options, let's just suppose I want to create some zones. You can also create some zones as well. If you want to put some trees, you can also put some trees. If you want some vegetation to be going on, you can also put some vegetation. For vegetation, basically you have two options. Either you can place your trees with a line form, which is I am showing you. This line form also you can create your vegetation, and accordingly those vegetation is going to be created. You can give the height over here. Like I said, it's basically more of a prompting you are doing it over here. So you can put your height, that what is going to be the height of your trees. So let's just suppose it is going to be 15 meter, and you can see it over here, it has been 15 meter. Now you can define that how you want your vegetation to be aligned. You want them to be centrally aligned, left aligned, right aligned. You can do it over here. Then what is going to be the center to center distance of your vegetation that you want to create. So you can also set it over here. Let's just suppose I want some compact or dense. I can put it over here that it is going to be 2.5, or let's just suppose I can set it over here that it is going to be 3. You can set your vegetation as well accordingly, right? After that, we also have one option which is called as areas with trees. If you want to merge an area, let's just suppose I want these all area which is going to be created into form of trees, purely green. You can also define your area, and let me just define my area and enter, and it is going to be populated accordingly. You can see it over here. Again, you have the automation tool. You can define your height, what is going to be your height, and you can see your height is going to be achievable. Similarly, you can define the center to center distance of your trees, and accordingly your trees are going to be assigned over here, right? So these are some options for draw tools. You have more options over here. You have line buildings, you have basic building. If you want to create some basic buildings which is going to be available in 3D, you can see it over here. You can do that as well. Line building are basically if you want to populate your neighborhood for your conceptual design, you can use line building. Similarly, houses are same, that if you provide a line, if I select a line, and you can see it is going to be populated accordingly. Whatever the line I am going to create, it will create a building out of it. Let's just suppose like this, I want a building form to be created. I can define it. Even if I select the building, you can see I have some automation. I can define that what is going to be the height of my building, what is going to be the width of my building, how many number of floors I want to achieve. So you can see accordingly it is going to be coming it over here. You can also do one thing which is called as function. Let's just suppose I want to put some functions for this particular building for my conceptual design, that why I have chosen this particular area or this particular site. You can also define a function. For if I select on function, currently it is unspecified. I can select on residential and it will acquire the same color. You can create a legend out of it for your defining functions into your conceptual design, right? Similarly, for function, with function you can do one more thing, which is label. Labels are basically if you want to define that why you have chosen this particular area, you can also label your surroundings. Let's just suppose I want this particular why the site I have chosen because there are vegetation. So I can label it over here that the area is covered with a lot of vegetation, which will create a noise barrier for me. So I can put it over here that this area is for vegetation or this is dense forest. You can type it accordingly and you can see that it will get a label off. Similarly, if you want to put the labels onto a building, you can do that as well. And if I put a building, let's just say that it's a mixed use building, I can put label for this as well. Okay, we have one Q&A. Okay, we'll end it over here. You can see all these features are available. Now, when you have created your proposal, you can again add more proposal or you can do more over here that you can also duplicate your proposal, existing proposal. So if you select on duplicate, it is going to be duplicated into one more proposal. You can also rename your proposal. Let's just suppose now I want to rename it to proposal 2 and I want to rework on my site. So you can simply delete your copying over here and you can rework on your site, right? So these are things are available. Now I'll just again go back to on proposal one. Then you can see that we have analysis tab over here. This is basically your analysis tab. You can see the area metric accordingly, which is available. You can firstly you have area metric. You select it over here. This is basically your area metric. Then you can select on sun hour analysis. So if I select on sun hour analysis, firstly you need to select that what is going to be your site area, like you want to give an analysis of. You can select either entire model or you can select only your site limit. So whatever site limit you have chosen, it is going to done an analysis for your site area as well. Then you can select a date that which is going to be date of your site analysis. Let's just suppose you want to create an analysis on June 21, or let's just suppose you want to create an analysis on December 21. So you can select your date. You can develop 2, 3, 4, or how many numbers of analysis you want to create. You can select it and it will run your analysis. Currently, it is analyzing. So when it is going to be done, it is going to be showcased over here. I can see what type of analysis I have. Similarly, you have multiple analysis that you can see it from, right? And when I'll be done with my analysis, I can go and compare my two analysis. We have one tab over here specifically for comparison between analysis. I can select on compare and you can just select the drag down option. Let's just suppose I want to compare between true proposal of my area metric, right? I have two proposal and accordingly I want to just compare area metrics for each. I can simply select this area metric list latest version and drop it over here. Now it will show me the area metric of that particular site. Similarly, if I select on sun hour analysis, because I have done only sun hour analysis, that is why it is available. So if I select it and drag it over here, now you will be able to see my sonar analysis which we had done over here. And it will load and you can see your sonar analysis is available over here. You can also read it over here that how much area of ground is covering, how much area of that is going to be impacted, how much area of roof is going to have a direct sunlight. You can read it over here. If you want to decrease it accordingly, you can also decrease it according to your time, like between 0 to 6 hours, this is going to be the area. If between 0 to 7 hours, this is going to you, so you can read it over here, right? And you can also go with highlights over here. If you want to read more about your ground, how much of coverage of ground you are having, you can read a lot more into your analysis, right? And like this you can compare. Then we come towards boards. If I go on to boards, you can see that we have one tab by the name of board, right? If I come on to board, you will be able to see that it will be a certainly like a presentation board which you can use it. And for presentation board, okay, it is taking a moment. Okay, it is loading. Okay, now you can see that this is your board frame. You can put any type of image over here. If you want to put an image over here, you can also put an image, and according to your image it is going to be coming. It's a basically board instruction which is available over here. So let me just delete all this. I can put a proposal of my area metric into image form. So I can just simply design view and it is going to be available for me to see. And you can also scale down according to your need. You can type some text over here. Let's just suppose I want this to, so I can write it. You can also choose what type of text you want, what is going to be the color and opacity of your text. You can choose these optionally limited font, which is 4 fonts. So you can choose accordingly what font you want to work on. Concept design, I'll go with design advanced. Sorry. So now you can type it more. If you want to put your area metric, you can again simply go on to files. You can select it over here and you can put an image of your area metric as well. Similarly, it goes for your proposal 2. If you want to go with proposal 1, this is basically for your proposal 2. If you want to go with your proposal 1, you can put a proposal 1 as well. If you want to put your sun analysis, so we have analysis as well over here. Again, you can also scale it and scale down according to your need. You can do that. And let's just suppose when it is going to be coming, or I don't like the thumbnail of my particular image. The analysis which I have done it over here, I don't like the thumbnail. I can also choose a new thumbnail. So if I select it over here, it is going to be available into a comparing mode, and you can set another view. You can see it over here that I can set another view. Let's just suppose I want this kind of a view for my analysis, for my image. I can set a view, then create a screenshot of it, take a camera position, save a camera position over here. You can rename your position as well. So if let's just suppose I rename it to be 1, right? I'll just rename it to be 1. Then I'll close this particular analysis of mine. And if I go on to select this, and if I go on to choose camera angle, now I can choose another camera angle which I have just set it. I have set it 10 number of camera angle and it is going to be loaded accordingly. So you can change your camera angle as well. So this things you can do in Forma board. You can present your drawing. After presenting, you can, if let us suppose the question which arises in your mind, can we present it into PDF document or can we present it into PNG document? That is also possible. If you just select all, right click on it, then you can see we have option presentation, sorry, not presentation but export as. You can export into PNG. If you select on print, you can also print it into PDF form as well. So this is also available. So if you want to work more onto your presentation, you can also work on your presentation, right? And you can also put your images over here. If you want to upload some images, you can upload. Now I'll again go back. I want to showcase you one thing which is for your AI renders. So for AI renders, I have opened up another project of mine. This is a proposal that I have worked on. Into this proposal, let's just suppose I want to now render this proposal of mine. That this was the final proposal, and after finalizing my proposal, I want to create a render of. But I don't want to give a lot of time, so you can simply go on to extension. Under extension, you have add extension, and when you will be clicking on add extension, you have one option by the name of Evolve Labs. Okay, I'm so sorry for my internet. I'm not sure why it is working so. And over here you can see we have Evolve Labs Vera. So I can simply add. In my system, it is added, but in your system, you need to add them. After adding it, you can see it in your extension. If I go on to this extension, it is going to be available. So if I select on Evolve Labs, it is going to open another window. Firstly, you need to log in. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll just stop sharing and log in over here. I did logged in, but I think it was logged out. Okay, now let me just share my screen. And now you can see Okay, it is not working in my case, but okay, my license has been expired, but you can go on to Viras, you can add your logins. It is basically your AI renders. You can put your prompting. There are presets and entities as well. You can put your presets templates. You can use your preset templates. If you want to prompt your text, you can also prompt your text over here, right? And let's just suppose you have done all your conceptual design. After conceptual design of your arenas, you want to transfer it into Revit for further more. So you can just select on these three dots. Under three dots, you have one option by the name of Revit, and you can simply just send this particular proposal of yours to Revit. So you can just simply send it to Revit. Firstly, you need to download this Revit add-in and you have to install it into your system. But in my system, it is already downloaded. That is why I haven't go on to download Revit add-in. You can just simply send Revit add-in over here and it is going to be sent it into your Revit. Now I'll just reshare my another screen for Revit. Just a moment. Okay. And over here in Revit, when you come onto Revit, you have different tabs, right? Different tabs works on different elements. For different elements, we have different commands and as well. You need to, for your loading your proposal, you need to come on to massing and site. Under massing and site, you will be seeing one add-in which we had done, which is load proposal. So I can simply select on load proposal and select on load, and it will load whatever the proposal I have given it to send it to Revit. It is going to be loaded over here. Right? It will take a moment, and after that your proposal is going to be loaded over here. And when you load your proposal over here, it is going to be converted in a form of 3D, where you will be able to see walls, where you will be able to see lands, where you can see that it is showing me a preview as well, and you can also select that this one particular proposal you had set in. So let me just load it, and it is going to be load a forma element, and after a few minutes it will load, so it will take a moment to load. uh, till then we can do one thing. If you have any doubt, we can take up the question and I'll showcase you my forma model into Revit afterwards. Tanya, we can take question answers. Yes, you can import CAD files as well. There's one option to import, not particularly DWG file, but there's one option you can add your DXF file. And I'm answering it to Madhumita. Okay, anyone, if you have any doubt, if you have any question, you can type it into chat. For sites where there are hardly any context data on OSM or Mapbox, what can we do? Um, you can go on to extension tool. For recording, I think you will be able to have the recordings. Do we have interiors? No, we don't have interior. It is basically for conceptual design. So you can develop your concept design over here, but you cannot do renders. You can do basic plannings over here, right? Can you upload Revit file to Forma? Revit file, not basically Revit file. .rvt is not available, but you can upload IFC file and object file. Okay, let me just showcase you that. Okay, so if I go on to library, you have import option over here. This is your library, then you have import option, and you can see what type of files you can import it. You can import DXF file, which is going to be your DWG to DXF. Then you can import object file, and you can import your IFC file as well. If you are working in Revit, you are well known to Revit, you can convert your Revit file to IFC and you can import it over here, right? So importing is also possible. And okay. Then please can you repeat initial discussion we had on course? Sorry, but you can go with the recordings afterwards. We cannot have the discussion in afterwards. Can you bring contoured site? Sites basically depends on what location you are having. And according to your location, your contour and site is going to be developed. So it is not like I can bring any site. It is basically you're choosing your site and accordingly it will develop your contours or site, right? And after we have how are we supposed to analyze circulation, accessibility, etc. in concept diagram. For circulation as in if you want to work on circulation, firstly you need to have paper, pen, then you can develop circulation and accessibility, because this is not Forma is about. Forma is about how you can develop your forms and defining your forms, defining your proposal, that you can do it over here. Okay, is it paid or free? Okay, for if you are a student, it is going to be that you can apply for AEC student version license. After that, when you apply for AEC student version license, it is going to be free. But if you are not having a student license, then I think it is going to be paid with your AEC collection. Forma is free. Yes, Forma is free for students, so you can access students, or if you already have Revit license, with that also you can access Forma free. Okay. Do we have another questions? If yes, I think I have answered all. Let me just check. Does it come with ArcGIS license? Yes, we have an extension of ArcGIS, but if you have license, you can explore it more. Explore it more, because I don't have license of ArcGIS, so I cannot explore for ArcGIS. But if you already have a license, you can explore. We have the extension. The way I have shown you extension for Evolve App, similarly over there you have extension for ArcGIS, right? Can we model site context on Forma? Yes, you can do that. Yes. Do we need separate ArcGIS? No, not separate ArcGIS, the same ArcGIS, because if you go on to extension, you will be redirecting to ArcGIS, and when you will be redirecting to ArcGIS, you need to put your actual credentials if you have for ArcGIS. You don't need to require another separate license. Same license will work. Okay, anything else? Okay, now let me just show you how my model has come onto Revit after exporting from Forma. Just a moment, guys. And you can see all the contours have come along with my site. Whatever the site I have chosen, you can see the contours are also visible. You can see your models as well. And if I click on my model, you can see your model is also over here. You can also edit it into over here, because it's basically a family. So in family, you can model it over here, right? So it's a basically with a family which come onto Revit, and onto Revit you can go again onto another family and you can explore more. If you want to define your shape afterwards, if you want to define anything, you can do that. And if you already have floor, sorry, building which you have created using line building or using building element, you can see it is going to be developed into walls. It is going to be developed in form of, if I go on to hide, you can see that it is going to be developed into form of floor. You can see it over here. It is floor, it is wall, and top is going to be my roof. So you can see all these elements are also going to be available for you, right? So this is how your import is going to work. And with that, you can also see your site is going to be coming it over here. Though right now these are into group form, so you can see that these are in group form, but afterwards when you will be going into edit form, edit group, you can also edit some of your buildings as well. So this is how you can also import it. Sorry, export it. Okay, and do we have, okay, we have another question. We have a curved facade. We are struggling a lot to create it. How do I create it in Forma and take it into Revit? Can curtain system apply it? When you export it into Revit, it can have the curtain system. You can apply it afterward. But as you asked for curved walls, let me just show you something over here. Okay, just a moment. We just suppose I'll be again. Okay, let me just draw some basic building, and I'll just, okay, And now let's just suppose I want to go with more modification for this particular building. You can go on to this again 3D, and then you can see we have option for loft, we have option for cover, we have option for sweep. So with these forms you can create a curve. And let me just, I'm just going with the volume. Let's just suppose I have a volume over here. I'll enter it. And if I select this line, you can also see we have some more forms. Forms as in, let's just suppose I want to offset this edge, I can do that. I want to smoothen out this edge, I can do that. I can also smooth. If I want to create a tilted side as well, I can do that. You can just simply tilt this particular edge of yours and it is going to be tilted. If you want to create another type of form, you can do that. What is going to be the length? You can also create some arrays. And if you want to smoothen out your edge, you can do that as well, right? So you need to firstly develop your site accordingly and then you can bring it into form, right? So there are a lot of more features than this. Okay, I think we have answered all. Yes. Anything else, Kirtana and Tanya, you want to add on?
Not from my side. Let's end the session here, I guess.
Yes,
We
we
can end
can.
the session, also.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we can end the session. I think I don't have anything else from my
Okay.
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Then thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kulsum and Kirtana.
Thank you.
Tanya.
No worries.